Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Lee. So the Golden State Warriors, the New Orleans Pelicans, just played game 2 of their series in the NBA playoffs. And in this game, Draymond Green and Rajon Rondo were getting into it a little bit in the first half. And when the final buzzer of the half sounded, the two guys started exchanging some more words before heading to the locker room. And if you know anything about those two players, then you would have known that they would wind up doing something like this at some point this series. Both these guys have reputations for being involved when something goes down. No matter what it is, if something goes down to the court, these two guys are often going to be at the center of it. So yeah, this was bound to happen at some point, and Rondo wasn't the only person looking to get into it with Green yesterday though, as during the halftime show of this game, Charles Barkley said that he really wishes somebody would punch Draymond Green in the face, and that he himself wants to punch Draymond Green in the face so badly.
I just want somebody to punch him in the face.
Which one?
American Express halftime report. I really do. I just want somebody to punch him in the face.
Why you don't like Draymond? Yo, Jay in Atlanta.
I want to punch him in the face.
Why you don't like Draymond?
I'm just telling you, I want to punch his ass in the face. I do.
And then after the game, Draymond Green was asked if he heard about what Barkley said, and he basically said that Barkley either needs to do it or Barkley needs to shut up.
Your boy Charles on TV, you see what he said?
I heard what he said.
Yeah, and your mom kind of went back at him. But, I mean, what do you think when do you even
I think a lot of guys talk on TV, stand behind a microphone and a TV screen. Fact of the matter is, if you feel that strongly about something, he's seen me a million times. If he feel that strongly about it, then punch me in my face when you see me. If you're not going to punch me in my face when you see me, then shut up. It's no different than somebody sitting behind a computer screen tweeting, "I'll knock you out," and you never see him in life. Well, he's seen me a bunch of times, and he'll see me again this year. Punch me in the face when you see me, or if not, no one cares what you would have done. You old, and it is what it is. So if you ain't going to punch me when you see me, then stop talking about it. Period.
I'm down for it. You put these two guys in the ring and see what happens. I want to see that, but I mean, come on. We all know that Chuck can't and won't fight Draymond Green. It ain't worth it for him because he could get in some serious trouble with his whole gig that he has going on TV. Man is a TV personality. It's his job to say crazy, funny stuff like this, and he shouldn't be taken too seriously, even though these two guys do have sort of a history of going back and forth. This time last year exactly, Draymond Green was asked if he thinks of himself as a modern day Charles Barkley, and I'm sure Barkley didn't like Draymond's response too much. Even if Green wasn't necessarily saying a lie, he just didn't word it in a way that Barkley would appreciate it.
Would you consider yourself the modern day Charles Barkley?
Hell no. I'm the modern day Draymond Green.
But like I said, you put these two guys in a ring on pay-per-view, I'm watching that. I guess everybody was just looking to get into it yesterday, huh? We had Drake versus Kendrick. Not Lamar, not Kendrick Lamar. Drake versus Kendrick Perkins. And I can honestly say that I never thought the day would come when I would have to talk about something like this. Raptors versus Cavs yesterday. We'll talk about that game in a second. But first, during the game, there was another game. A game within a game. Drake versus Kendrick Perkins. And just like the Rondo versus Green situation, right when the second quarter ended, these two guys were caught exchanging some words. Perkins eventually gets escorted back to the locker room, and that was that. However, after the game, things escalated a little more, as it seems these two guys were ready to throw hands. Drake. Yes, in the basketball world, Kendrick Perkins is, well, Kendrick Perkins. And I know you must have felt comfortable talking to him like that since you knew nothing would happen. You knew nothing was finna pop off and that he wouldn't actually come at you or anything like that. And if he did for some reason, it had about 4 or 5 personal bodyguards plus all the extra security on the court to come to your aid. But I mean, trying to act tough like you would even think about fighting a guy like Perkins, Just don't do it. Just stop it. That being said though, I wouldn't be surprised in the next song he releases if he takes a couple of shots at Kendrick Perkins. Anyways, Perkins after the game gave his take on what started the whole Drake incident, as he said, quote, "I was messing with Serge, my old teammate. I wasn't talking to Drake. I was telling him we about to win the game, and then Drake butted in talking crap to me. So I said something back to him. He said something slick, so I said something back. Sit your butt down and just watch the game." As for Drake, he said that he was merely complimenting Perkins on the hem of his capris. Well, he probably was saying something about his capris, but more along the lines of, why are you wearing capris instead of actual game shorts? You're not even dressed to play. Are you that trash? He probably said something along those lines, and then Perkins responded, and you know, things got to where they were. And look, we all know that Drake always talks to players on the opposing teams during games like this. Just in the last series, he had some beef with Kelly Oubre Jr. when he shouted, "You're a bum," and also tried to tell John Wall that his team was getting bodied by 20 that night.
John, you're getting bodied by 20 tonight. 6 buzz. 6 buzz. You're a buck team, IG.
Real quick, I don't even think he was saying that loud enough for John Wall to hear though, because well, we all know the way Wall is. The dude is part of that life, and yeah, you probably don't want to push that guy to the edge. Anyways, Drake always does this kind of stuff to players. It's just most of the time whatever Drake does or says doesn't get under the skin of the players. They just brush it off. Kendrick Perkins wasn't willing to brush it off, and this was the result of that. Alright, so you guys remember how Lonzo Ball last year only decided that he was only going to work out for the Los Angeles Lakers? You guys remember how that went over with us as fans? We didn't appreciate that too much unless of course you were a Lakers fan. Well, upcoming NBA draft prospect Luka Doncic just said, "I'll see you, Lonzo. I'll see you only practicing for one NBA team and I'll raise you." Guess what? I'm not about to practice for any of these NBA teams leading up to the NBA draft. Yeah, you heard that right. Luka Doncic is not going to practice for any NBA teams leading up to the NBA draft. And this is what his agent had to say on that topic. Quote, "I don't think that will be an issue. Playing in the EuroLeague speaks for itself. What he has been able to do, it speaks for both the talent and the preparedness for Luka. He has had a different level of experience than most of his peers. EuroLeague is the next step to playing in the NBA. Hold up. Isn't college basketball also the next step before playing in the NBA too?" He made it sound like everyone who plays EuroLeague eventually makes it over to the NBA, and everyone that does is extremely successful, more successful than any college player. So, you know, they don't need to prove themselves by working out for these inferior NBA teams. But before you get too upset with Doncic's decision not to practice for any of these other teams, part of his decision has to do with the fact that he expects teams to come out and watch him play one last time in the EuroLeague Final Four. They'll be going down May 18th to May 20th. So any team with a top lottery pick in this year's draft will most likely send scouts, GMs, and coaches down to take one last look at Doncic before, you know, the NBA draft. And for a guy who has been so heavily touted, hyped up leading up to the draft, I don't think him not working out for some of these teams, any of these teams, will affect his draft stock too much. Maybe it will, maybe not, I don't know. Alright, so you guys remember how Victor Oladipo texted his trainer right after being eliminated by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs, like 15 to 20 minutes after he was texting his trainer like, "When do we get started? I'm ready to take this thing to the next level." Well, after the breakout season that he had this year, it seems like other players are looking to recreate that level of success. They're like, "I want to be what Victor Oladipo was this year. I want to be that breakout star in the NBA. And how do I do that? Yeah, I'm going to go to the man that made it happen for Victor Oladipo. I'm going to go to his trainer himself." Yep. Other players are looking to train with Victor Oladipo's trainer, who is also Dwayne Wade's trainer. One of those players is Jahlil Okafor, as we got reports saying that Okafor has gone to Miami to train with Victor Oladipo's trainer. So Victor Oladipo went down to Miami to train with Dwayne Wade's trainer, David Alexander, last summer, and it had a career-altering effect on him. Yesterday, Alexander posted photos of, it was supposed to say Brooklyn, I think, but it said Broken, which might actually be even more accurate. Net center Jahlil Okafor working out. Ja is really in some need of some type of off-season miracle to keep him in the NBA at this point. He wasn't even getting playing time on the Brooklyn Nets after he was traded there from the Philadelphia 76ers, and that is not a good sign. And he's about to be an unrestricted free agent, meaning that he is really going to have to impress some teams during the workouts to land a solid role on the team. So hopefully he can train just as hard, if not even harder, than the way that Victor Oladipo was training last summer to save his NBA career, because it's make or break at this point. If he doesn't make a team, he's playing in some other league, probably EuroLeague, China, something like that. All right, now real quick, we gotta talk about the games from last night. And the first game we had to talk about is the Toronto Raptors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And somehow the Raptors lost this game. It looked like they were going to be able to get the win until they didn't. They just went ice cold down the stretch. I mean, the Cavs took advantage of this, forced overtime, and before overtime even started, you just had the feeling like you just knew that this game was over, that the Raptors had already lost this game. They were making a heck of a lot of mistakes. Seems like they were panicking. I mean, when Lowry decided to call a timeout with like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, which that resulted in a turnover anyway since he didn't get the ball in time, yeah, you just knew the game was over. The Raptors were panicking, and they choked away a game that they were supposed to win. LeBron James had a triple-double, sure, but he still didn't play that great. He wasn't efficient with a shot at all, and the Raptors weren't able to take advantage of that. And Tristan Thompson, Tyronn Lue, why didn't you start this man again after you saw how key he was in winning Game 7 against the Pacers? You were letting Jonas Valanciunas body you in the paint until Thompson got back into the game. And with LeBron seemingly still being tired from the 7-game series against the Pacers when he had to do a majority of the work, it was all of the other guys except Kevin Love who stepped up and got the Cavs a win. Kyle Korver, Tristan Thompson, Jeff Green, and J.R. Smith were all fantastic last night, while once again for the Raptors, they just couldn't come up with any plays when they really needed to make some plays down the stretch, and this was an extremely devastating loss for the entire country of Toronto. Alright, well, as long as the series is entertaining, I will be happy. And the Pelicans, I would say, did a pretty good job of making it entertaining yesterday. They probably even would have won had it not been for Stephen Curry coming back. Yep, Curry returned and didn't even need much time to make a huge impact on this game. Hit a 3 almost immediately after checking into the game and scored 28 points in only 27 minutes on the court. And the addition of him was just way too much for the Pelicans to handle, like I was afraid it might be, because Holiday and Mirotic both played a lot better than they did in game 1. I know they weren't phenomenal or anything, but a lot better. Holiday with 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and Mirotic with 18 points and 9 rebounds, even though he did eventually foul out. And, you know, the fact that the Pelicans were right up there with the Warriors in this game, despite the re-addition to Curry to the lineup, is a good-ish sign. It's a good-ish sign. It's not a great sign. It's not even really a good sign, but it's a good-ish sign. I don't think anyone thinks the Pelicans can win this series anymore, but I still do think they can make it more interesting than the majority of other teams in the league would be capable of. AD is going to have one of those games where he goes off for like 40 plus points and the Pelicans should win that game. Other than that, I think all the other games should be just about as close, pretty close to as close as this one was, meaning that at the very least it will be entertaining, not suspenseful or thrilling, but entertaining. And that's it. That wraps up everything that we had to talk about from yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, keep getting the buckets, Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!